Coalition. Ray has been a peace campaigner for probably more years than she wants to remember, but I always feel very grateful for the work that she does on the question of peace. And she, I know, has very much in mind the fact that Israel is the only nuclear-armed nation in the whole of the Middle East, and therefore is a threat to all of us and a threat to the people of the whole world. But I'd like you to welcome Ray Street, please.
Linda, and an enormous thanks to the two young people who gave us the truth about what happened in the attack on the flotilla. And that's going to be the theme of my speech today. But one thing I'd like to say at the beginning is this huge focus on South Africa this weekend. There's been one disappointing part, because with our mainstream news, football will push anything else, any humanitarian cause, out of the way. But on the other hand, people have learned to be reminded of a huge struggle for social justice which was won. And that's what we want, the struggle for the Palestinians to be won. You know, you may ask, why is CND here? Well, we are a peace group, and our symbol, of which I'm very proud, is known as a peace symbol throughout the world. But it's also the question that we are the campaign for nuclear disarmament, and nuclear weapons are one aspect which is key in the Middle East. They are another aspect of the huge oppression and the blindness and hypocrisy of the Western states towards that area. They are shouting, every leader shouts, Iran might get, and they just managed to push through the UN more sanctions on Iran. They might get a nuclear weapon. Now, I am no apologist for the regime in Iran at the moment. It is a dictatorship, and I have no patience with it. But the facts are, Iran does not have a nuclear weapon. The only state in the Middle East which has nuclear weapons is Israel. It has upwards of 200 warheads. And we are not talking about bows and arrows. They could annihilate most of the world, and they're operational. In fact, Israel has, you know that lovely Yorkshire phrase, had the brass neck when they're being accused of the inhumanity against the flotilla to actually launch in the Mediterranean nuclear-armed submarines last week. It is crazy. And just to show you one aspect of their huge oppression and cruel attitudes, when the whistleblower Mordecai Vanunu in 1986 revealed, again, the truth in the Sunday Times article, he was kidnapped and drugged and taken back and put on a show trial, put in prison for 18 years. 11 of those years he spent in solitary confinement. It was really a wonder he didn't go mad. And then he was released, and they played cat and mouse with him, because he spoke to foreign journalists. You know, that's a crime in Israel, to speak to a foreign journalist. He's been put back in prison. Back in prison. It is just unbelievable. And our countries, our leaders, don't say a dicky bird. They keep quiet about it. It's not diplomatic. And what was he doing? Why was he in prison? Why is his life being ruined? Because he told the truth. And this continues because Israel has broken the law, and again and again and again. Just think of all the violations of law they've made. This attack was just the latest in a whole string over the recent years. Building the wall, a refugee camp is a breaking of international law. Those people imprisoned in Gaza, that's a breaking of the law. It is appalling how they're allowed, as has already been said, to get away with murder. But it's up to us to stand together to fight. As we're saying on the march, we are all Palestinians. And you know, when our leaders come out and say, ooh, they have to be diplomatic, they say, whoa, we have to respect Israel's security needs. Security needs? What they mean is selling them more weapons, building up, giving them billions of dollars for the most advanced technological weapons. Well, that is false reasoning, because nuclear weapons will never keep anybody safe. The US has the largest nuclear arsenal in the world, but it didn't prevent the attack on the Twin Towers, and it won't keep us safe in Britain. The only road to security and peace is for us to be without those nuclear weapons. They lead to grave dangers, and they just don't seem to learn the message. Our own government is just as bad and as stupid. They're putting us in all grave danger, but especially the oppression of the Palestinians is so appalling now that what I say, what can we all do together? And that is, as our friends before have said, we have to get out the truth, because everybody who's listening this afternoon can do one small thing. You can write to your local paper, you can tell your friends, every friend and neighbour, you can tell them the truth about the situation, about the attack, about the weapons that have been used, about the illegalities and the immorality of that, the way the state is operating there. Let us all do that together. It's something we can do. And I think you've been enormously patient this afternoon, so my speech is not going to be a long one. And you know what it reminds me of? When we had the hugest gathering we've ever had before the attack, the Second Gulf War, in Albert Square. We had 20,000 people, and it poured down. And Len Sissy, the local poet, was there, and he said, in his lovely way, well, they say rain, but we say rainbow. We are a rainbow alliance, and that way, if we all work together, we will achieve social justice for the Palestinians. Thank you all.